Well, hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads. We're back with you again. We're out in northwest Arkansas this week. We're out on the mighty Ibex 800T. We've got it on the expedition. We're checking out a couple of old dams. They're old masonry block, quarried block dams built back in the 1880s or 90s, something like that. And the second dam we're going to look at is the largest masonry block dam in the United States. And this first one is still a pretty good sized dam, but it's not quite the biggest, but it's the oldest. And then we'll take a look at a big, newer, really big dam up on Beaver Lake here in Eureka Springs. I invite you to stick around. We'll load up on the mighty Ibex and we'll go check out some old dams here in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. We're down in northwest Arkansas in a little town called Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Really cool little town. It's a touristy town, but it's cool. It's got a lot of history to it. But today we're going to take a look at a couple of old dams. They got two pretty old dams here. They're masonry, they're block, rock block that was quarried and cut. So this first dam we're going to look at is a smaller dam. It's still pretty good sized dam, especially for a masonry block dam. It's really a good sized dam, but it was built back in the 1880s or 90s. They needed, the city of Eureka Springs had a big fire and about half of the downtown area burnt down back in the 1880s, and they couldn't get enough water to fight the fire, so they decided they needed a new reservoir to supply water to the town. They built this dam. They dammed up a little creek down here and built this big dam, made them a reservoir, and they plumbed up the whole town with fire hydrants and the whole works. They had steam pumps down here at the dam, steam powered pumps that pumped water up to the town to supply water to, they probably had reservoirs, big tanks or something up there. They pumped water up, filled those up, and then they had water. And so far as I know, they didn't have any more really devastating fires after that, you know, burned a bunch of the town down or anything. So apparently it all worked out for them. So it's down a dirt road, down a pretty good sized hill right here. We'll just ease down this on the mighty Ibex. Looks like it's plenty dusty. We haven't had any rain in forever. They've been taking care of this road. It's graded and got a little bit of government gravel on it. But they didn't make it any less steep. It's still got that going for it. Beautiful day here in the Ozarks. We got a little bit of color starting to come in the trees there. You can see a lot of them are just turning brown. They're not getting any real color to them, but a few of them you get some yellows and a little bit of oranges. So yeah, we're down here in Eureka Springs. We're on like a 3 or 4 day little trip. Just basically looking at dams. We got 3 dams to look at down here. But this one here I think is the oldest. I think this was the first one. Well, look at all the people. My word, what a popular place. This looks pretty good to me right here. If the bike will stay up. So we're on the mighty Ibex today. We've ridden down here. We're probably, I don't know, 3 hours from the world headquarters, I would say. Spent the night in the luxurious Super 8 motel there in Eureka Springs. So we're living pretty large down here. Let's get our good camera out and we'll go see if we can get a picture of this dam. Let's see. Between 1880 and 1892, Eureka Springs suffered 4 major fires, and they didn't have a steady water source. So in 1889, they voted to establish a water system, and in 1893, it was contracted to build the dam. It's 150 feet long. It had a stone boiler house for 2 boilers and 2 steam pumps to pump the water up to the city. 6 and 8-inch water mains with 43 hydrants. Total cost of the project was $75,000. So they got a reservoir and the city plumbed up and pumps for $75,000. So here we are on the back side of the dam. We can kind of see the guts of the dam here. We've got a lot of casing stones. A lot of stones have slid off the dam. We got leaks going on right here. A lot of stones have came off the back side of it over here. A big section of stone slid off here. But apparently it's still safe. They let people below the dam down here. So we're going to trust that it'll stay here while I'm here. Here we are up on the lake here at the dam. Really pretty, got a little bit of color out there in the trees. When the sun's on them, you can see a little bit of the color. Then we got the dam over here. Yeah, pretty cool. Well, we had a pretty good look at the dam there. What we could see of the backside's pretty hard in the summer with the leaves on. All these trees have grown up in here, and it's hard to get a good look at it. We did get the drone up though, so we'll probably get something out of that. So we'll go check out our second dam of the day. It is also a masonry block, a quarried stone dam like this one, except it's a lot bigger. It's really long and high, and it's a pretty impressive sight to see. So we'll go check that out. So the second dam we're going to look at is not too far up the road, little ways. Starting to warm up a little bit. It was about 38 or 39 degrees this morning when I left Eureka Springs. It was pretty cool. Oh, I think we're probably approaching 50 degrees now. Pretty good riding weather. Some old river or creek bluff right here. See if we can get out here without dying. We got a pole right in the way. All right. Eureka Springs was a happening spot back in the 1870s and 80s. The Victorians came to town to soak in the hot springs that they have there. They thought it was going to cure them of all their diseases and problems. So they really poured in there, and the town got pretty big. They had a railroad line that came in there, helped with the growth of the town, and it was a pretty happening little spot. So when in the 1880s, when that thing burnt and about half of the town burned up, that was a pretty hard hit. And that's when they decided to build that little reservoir down there, build that little dam. They had steam powered water pumps that pumped the water up to the city, and they plumbed the city up. They had put fire hydrants all over town, and you know, it made a big difference. They didn't have a fire that wiped out half of the town after that. No sense in getting any big hurry here. I've got nowhere to go and all day to get there. So I'll just enjoy this road. Whew. This lake here, we got to do a little hiking to get to. It's a pretty good hike to get to the dam. The closest we can get is the over towards the west end of the lake, and the dam is on the east end of the lake. So you have to walk all along the lake to get to the dam. I've done it. It takes probably half an hour or so to get there. It'll take me a half an hour. Yeah, we'll park here and take a walk. Got a beautiful lake here. We'll take a walk along the lake and try to make it back to the dam. Here's a little shot of the lake, a little cove we had to kind of walk around on the trail. Beautiful back here, just gorgeous. Just enough color in the leaves to get just a little bit when the sun's out. Really nice. We finally made it to the dam, and wouldn't you know it, they're working on the dam and they got it closed off. I can't get over onto the top of the dam here. You can walk down here below the dam, and I'm going to do that. If we look off the back side of it here, you can see there's a trail that goes down to the bottom of the dam behind it. You can see the water coming over the dam there through the gate. So we'll do that. We're on the back side of this dam starting down. And you can see all the casing rock. This used to be cased. Real pretty. All that casing rock's fallen off and sloughed off and fallen down the hill here. Kind of a shame. But even the blocks themselves are starting to, you can see they're weathering and cracking and coming apart. The blocks that they quarried. So this old dam's been here a day or two. Pretty good shape right here where the water's running over. Stones haven't fallen out, looks pretty good. Really pretty down here. And they're working on that walkway that goes across the top of it there. And here's a guy right here that's doing the work. So here's the little creek that runs out from below the dam or over the dam. Makes its way on down. This is Leatherwood Creek. Here's a look out of one of the little coves along the trail to the dam back here. I'm heading back to the park, to where I'm at, the motorcycle, but you can see the dam way off in the distance there. And it took me about, I'd say about 25 minutes to walk from the parking area there at the city park all the way around to the dam, and I kept up a pretty good pace. Well, we're going to head out, and we've got one more dam to look at. And this one we don't have to walk half an hour to get to it. We can drive right up to this one. We're back on this old crooked road. This old road here's got more kinks in it than a state prison. I mean, it's crooked no matter where you look. They just put two of them together right here. And this is the $1 million view right here. This is my time of the year right here. It's just a shame it doesn't last very long. It'll be cold and nasty before you know it. Yeah, it's getting close to time to head out to Bisbee, Arizona. That's what I would like to do, is spend the winters down there and avoid all this nastiness up here. I haven't been able to make that work for me yet, but I'm going to. I'm gonna get there. Let's go look at this. Oh yeah, we got us an overlook. We should look it over. So this is Beaver Dam. And this is on the White River. They've dammed up the White River here and made this Beaver Lake. It's a pretty good sized lake. It's a big lake. So this one's a thooster. This old dam here, built in the 50s, 1950s, I believe. Definitely not a masonry block dam. They got to pouring concrete, and they made a big one here. And then the biggest portion of it's actually earth on over here. But it's still a big old concrete dam. I don't know how high it is. It's a couple of 100 feet high, I'd say. That's a pretty good look at the dam right there. Really cool. So this is Beaver Dam right here. Take a look at the White River down there. Below the dam and the lake above the dam. We are directly below the dam here. Pretty good sized dam when you get below it. Look up at it. It's not small. She's a thooster, and then we were right up there just a minute ago, taking pictures of the dam. They got a river access or a boat ramp right here. Looks like people are fishing in that too. Go take a look at this real quick while we're here. Get a few pictures of this. Yeah, we got just enough color in the trees to really make it pretty. Tell you what, I think I've got my hiking in for the day, maybe for the week. That trip around the lake, that was a pretty good hike. I'm feeling it in my hindquarters. I finally mounted up a new Midas EO7 Plus, Midas EO7 Plus tire on the back. Put a new one on there. Got about 6,000 miles out of the old one. Oh man, check this out. Ooh. Yes, sir. Bubba's Barbecue. All right, we're going to shut her down and see how Bubba is. Well, I would love to stay here and bask in the lap of luxury for another day, but we got to keep rolling down the road. I've got to get back to the world headquarters today. So we're going to take a ride through the old historic downtown area in Eureka Springs. City's been here a very long time. We'll head down here. This is the historic district. Cat House Lounge is down here. You may have seen that on YouTube. People coming to this bar. It's a biker bar. We're getting down into it here. Got these little homes that were built all along Main Street down here. They're cute. A lot of them have been fixed up, turned into bed and breakfasts. And right here's the Cat House. Got one bike in there. You can come to Eureka Springs, get here at 12 o'clock noon and be married by 12:45. No problem. People flock in here to get married. And you got your little touristy stores. A lot of these old buildings are just tourist shops now. Got a lot of restaurants in here too. Got to have restaurants. Parking, you got to pay to park. That's kind of a bummer. The parking situation sucks down here. There is some parking on the street that's free, but not much. Most of it you're going to end up in one of these lots. Here's the old train station. I believe this is the old train station. Yeah, the original one. It's burnt out. And then the old passenger train that used to come into Eureka Springs. Some of the old cars, looks like. I had some kin that grew up here in Eureka Springs. It was actually in-laws. Some of my in-laws' parents grew up here back in the 1890s, 1900s, early 1900s. It was quite a happening place back then. That was kind of the peak. Here's a basin spring bath house here. One of the hot springs in the back of this thing. The Victorians would come and soak in them, and it was probably also a motel. And then a lot of hotels were along here. They didn't have motels back in that day. Here's the Carroll County Courthouse from 1908. Right there, built out of quarried block, quarried stone. That's kind of cool. Well, folks, I'm going to leave it here. We're going to beat feet back to the world headquarters. I've got some business I need to take care of this afternoon when I get there. So I've got to make some tracks. I appreciate you all hanging out with me, checking out some of the stuff there around Eureka Springs, Arkansas. If you're in the neighborhood in northwest Arkansas, I strongly recommend you spend a little time in the Eureka Springs area. It's really pretty. They got a lot to offer. Those old dams were cool. I like the old dams. The Black Bass Dam is the oldest one, built around 1880 and made out of masonry block, quarried stone. Pretty cool dam. And then the Leatherwood Dam, that second big stone dam we looked at, is the largest quarried stone block dam that was ever built in the United States, is that dam there. And it's a pretty good sized dam. I'm gonna sign off now. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I invite you to come back and see me. We'll mount up on the Ibex or our Triumph Tiger, and we'll go somewhere and do something else. Till I catch up with you again, you all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.